welcome to Cooking with Sina. Today we're going to be making beef pho, but we'll be using the Instant Pot. If you don't have one of these, I recommend getting one. It is a game changer. It reduces cooking time by a few hours. So let's get started. Let me show you what you need to make the dish. So you'll need some beef bones. You can use knuckle bone, neck bone, marrow bone. I have a mixture of them, but whatever you can find at your local grocery store should be fine. I have a piece of beef shank and then some beef oxtail. I'm not using too much beef because I want to make sure this all fits into my Instant Pot. I have half a tablespoon of salt, some rock sugar, a tablespoon of chicken soup base, 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. I'm using the 3 crab brand, which is my favorite. 1 whole onion cut in half, a ginger cut in half as well, a piece of daikon, 3 pieces of garlic, and this pre-packaged spice seasoning that I got from my local Asian store. And of course you'll need some noodles. I have some pho noodles. I don't have too many because I'm not feeding too much, but there are bigger bags too. All right, let's get started.
So we're going to start off by parboiling our meat. The reason we do this is because we want to get rid of any impurities from the meat and bones, and also makes for a clearer broth. We're going to parboil the meat for about 5 minutes and then take it out of the water. So it's been 5 minutes. The first thing I'm going to do is take off the scum that's floating to the top so it'll be easier to clean. And you're just using a ladle and just scooping up the top layer of the water. So I grabbed some mitt because my pot is hot, and now I'm going to strain the meat into my sink with cold water running. So I'm just going to strain it, and after it's strained, I'm just going to rinse the meat through with cold water. Now we're going to go ahead and char our onions, ginger, and garlic on a high heat, just so it can help develop a more flavorful broth. So you want to make sure both sides are charred. So the garlic doesn't take too long to cook, so I removed that first, and I'm flipping over the ginger and onion, making sure there's a good char in it. Once finished, go ahead and remove it from the pan. Now we're going to go ahead and toast our spices. The reason we do this is because it creates a really great aromatic, and it helps create a more robust flavor with our pho. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to toast the spices. Make sure you're constantly moving it around, and you're going to transfer it all to the cheesecloth and put it to the side. It's finally time to throw everything into the Instant Pot. The first thing we're going to throw in there are all the meats. We're just going to layer it on top of one another. Next, we'll throw in the veggies. We have the onions, the piece of daikon, the ginger, and the garlic. And we're going to put enough water to cover all the meat and veggies. I put mine to the max line, which is 2/3 of the Instant Pot. Now we're going to add on the seasoning. We're adding the salt, the chicken soup base, the rock sugar, and we're going to save the fish sauce until the end. And now we're throwing in our cheesecloth that's full of spices. We want to make sure that this cheesecloth is pushed into the water, and we're all ready to cook it. Now you want to throw the lid on, turn it, and make sure it's closed all the way. Pressure cook, adjust the time to 1 hour, and you want to make sure that the pressure is on high. Check the knob on top and make sure that it's set to sealing. Now let it cook for 1 hour. So it's been 1 hour, and this screen will automatically pop up. Next, you want the Instant Pot to naturally release. To do so, you do nothing. This will allow the Instant Pot to slowly release pressure on its own. You want it to naturally release for about 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes. Now we're going to move the knob to venting, and this will allow the Instant Pot to quick release. It will take a few minutes to finish, and then once finished, you'll be able to open the lid. This is what the broth looks like. Amazing, right? Now that the broth is finished, I'm going to remove the spice cloth, the pieces of ginger, onion, and daikon. Now this powder is optional. I'm going to go ahead and add some meatballs to my broth, and I want it to cook still. So what I've done is I pressed the saute function on my Instant Pot so it can bring the broth back to a boil. At this time, I'm also going to add my fish sauce in. It's time to get our bowls ready. So the first thing you want to do is grab your rice noodles and blanch them in water. You do this for about 30 seconds. You don't want them to be overcooked. And then you're going to take them out and just throw it into your bowl. Now I'm adding thin slices of meat to my bowl. I'm not cooking them because once I throw the broth in my bowl, it'll cook the meat for me. Now I'm grabbing my ladle and just scooping the broth in. I'm scooping the oxtail, the meatballs, whatever meat that I want into my bowl. This is the finished product. I like to top mine off with some jalapeños, thinly sliced onions, and some herbs. Also a side of sriracha and hoisin sauce. I hope you liked the video.